What is up, people? LUI here. Salute you wherever you are. Damn, I look younger than usual, but then again, I shaved. The talk of the hour, though, is definitely Greene yet again. I suppose you guys, you're part of his 3.3 millions and counting followers on Instagram, and probably you saw his very special video this morning when he showcased the very development of his legendary glutes, so to speak, for the world to see. But as you guys notice as well, he's also on the move yet again, not surprising. He's going to India, or rather going back to India. Last time I checked, he was there probably a few weeks ago. He just came back from Brazil, and prior to that, I think it was probably China or Pakistan, New York, so that's it. For the record, I'm in contact with Greene almost daily, as you guys know. He has a proper habit to store my live videos on Instagram, and he salutes you guys, and I do the same on his live video. However, in real life, believe me, it is rather tedious. It is very tedious and intricate to try to catch him and meet him in real life. Last time we agreed upon actually a meeting will be in December, hopefully this upcoming December in Dubai, because we are both going to the not only the same show, but his doctor hooked me up, and I'll be finally able to meet him and meet the very Shakespeare in real life. All this to say that Greene is always into something. He lives in airport, literally, and it's very important because what he's doing, it was never done. Now we're talking about a guy who did not compete this year completely, and he will not compete in 2017. Last time I checked, and that's very important because we're going to talk about the Arnold in a few. So the guy does not even compete. He was not in Miss Olympia. Did not do a single Arnold. I mean, he did nothing this year whatsoever. Yet he is not only the most popular, he is the guy who is basically bringing the most money into his business. He's way ahead of everybody. So I think the second guy is not even Phil Heath. It's probably Big Ramy, right? But Greene is setting up the very blueprint, the example for the rest, if they can follow, and they should follow. Time have changed, and he's doing it all via social media. It goes to show, dude does not compete. Obviously, you guys remember he has been invited to Mr. Olympia, and his answer was pretty much no answer whatsoever. Excuse me, I need to be anabolic. Hell, they did not even invite him directly. It was an indirect invite via an outlet, namely Flex. And talking about that, I mean, Greene had that very cover of Flex magazine weeks actually before it was on the shelves. Talking about shelves, you better to know that every bodybuilder, bodybuilding is a young man's discipline, and their shelf life is rather short. A year in bodybuilding is like dog years. It's like 7 years. They go by rather fast. And you have a guy, one in his 40s, this Greene, doing his thing very diligently, very successfully. He transcends the very field of competition. Does not even have to compete. And he is the most popular. Where he goes, you guys, so, I mean, see what happened a week ago in Brazil. It was like riots. Where Greene was there, it was like riots. The fans were absolutely mesmerized by the presence of the Predator, all right? And the other guys are, most of them are watching, but I hope they're learning something, right? You don't have to wait for your very promoter actually to basically bring your food on your table. Do your own thing, right? As a matter of fact, Greene, you know, as you guys know, he has his own company. He's partnered with a very close friend of mine, actually, the owner of Dynamic Muscle with him, and he is taking care of business in a very diligent way, right? Kai Greene is, for all intents and purposes, more or less a month, you can say a month and a half, ready for a show. Which brings us to the Arnold, or rather the Arnolds in plural with an S, because there are tons of them, right? I'm almost certain that Big Ramy will do the Ohio. I think it will be the first time for him ever to do the second biggest show of the year, of the calendar. And as far as I know, Kai Greene will do it too, right? Kai Greene probably peaked. We can all agree that his best shape was last year, 2016, in Australia, right? When he was absolutely proper. You can say Australia, you can say the All Arnold. It's all the same thing. He was on, right? And Big Ramy admittedly is progressing year after year, and his place in showcases there. So it will be a proper collision between these two guys, two top guys, right? I mean, you know, only Phil Heath was better than them. I say was because there is a big question when it comes to Phil Heath. We all know that he did an operation that was rather serious, and he was honest enough to basically discuss about it. Now, a lot of you basically do not believe that. They say, hey, she's just making an excuse. Quite frankly, I don't think so. I think it was serious. I'm gonna tell you something. I mean, I was talking to Phil Heath extensively. I can guarantee you that according to me, when Phil Heath was on stage, he was all business. If his midsection was not controlled, believe me, I think he was doing whatever it takes to try to control it. So he was probably aware of that, right? He's not dumb. He's professional, and he's very meticulous when it comes to his posing. So if it was the way it was, it showcased it was somehow problematic and probably out of his control, right? So it was serious. The operation is true. It's not a hoax. I personally do believe that, although I did not have any word after Mr. Olympia with Phil Heath. But Kai Greene, as far as I know, he will do the Arnold, Ohio. Not only that, he'll probably do the others, Brazil, Australia. Those are almost certain. And why not? He might come back right after Mr. Olympia to go to Spain just for the hell of it. He is really in shape. Now, the upcoming week is going to India. That is very interesting. India is pretty much a continent. They call it the Indian subcontinent, so to speak. And these guys are more than 1 billion, so it is a huge culture, or rather cultures, right? A lot of people do forget that Indians are very proud. It is a very deep, it is millennial actually civilization, and they have also millennial traditions. Now, it is a custom that when you go there, you're greeted by officials. In this case, those are mayors or equivalent of mayors of each city. Kai Greene will visit, and by tradition, they will actually offer him basically treats. It is the custom there, right? And those treats are definitely very elaborate and rather rich in calories. Baby, please, cakes, right? And it is not convenient, or it is not saluted for basically a guest to refuse that or to decline that offer. So it will be rather interesting to watch Kai Greene during that challenge. It is definitely a huge task that he will have to undergo. For all intents and purposes, it is a trial, so to speak. And I do know for a fact that last time when he was in India, one of these officials literally forced the cake into his mouth. So Kai did consume it only to basically, let's say, reduce the calories few minutes after. So that's how he is very diligent in his approach when it comes to his physicality. Also, I'm sure you follow his grueling paying the dues sessions. Listen, obviously I'm natural. I'm a small guy, so for me doing cardio, as you guys see me on a daily on my, on my Stairmasters, it is not taxing for me because my heart can deal with a small body. I'm not a huge guy, you know what I mean? So my muscles are not basically a burden on my cardiovascular system. But we're talking about a guy, Kai Greene, who is almost 280, 290 any day of the week. That's quite a huge, basically real estate, and you see him doing those 30, 40 minutes of grueling cardio. He's very, very diligent. He's very calculating, and that's what will happen. He'll come from nowhere next year just to confirm that I'm still here. I can take a whole year off, or a little bit more than that for that matter, and come back at will and still be a top guy, right? He's not coming to place number 2. It will not be easy with Ramy, granted, because Ramy is a big question. We'll see his next version. I'm expecting Big Ramy to be marvelous, but do not think that Kai Greene is finished. As a matter of fact, I agree with a lot of people. If Kai Greene came this year to Mr. Olympia, he would have won easy versus a very vulnerable, as we all saw, Fit Heath. That's what's up. So we expect him to come. For me, it's almost certain that Kai Greene will do the Arnolds, at least 2 of them. That's a given. God bless you. Have a nice one. Don't forget to like the video and tell me what you guys think about it. Mildly proud.